For this video, I wanted to showcase a deck list that was going to utilize both of the necromancers, very similar to the deck list that I shared for Dwemer. This is a list that has a number of very good 1-drops, so that you can use and abuse Apprentice Necromancer. And there's also a number of cards that you can use and abuse in conjunction with the original Necromancer that haunts everyone's dreams. Now, the reason I like Tribunal is because you get access to your traditional token package, but you also gain Crown Quartermaster, and I'm also throwing 1 Midnight Trespasser in because nothing is as fun as basically paying 3 for a 6/6 in stats. The other reason that this is kind of a fun list is you have a toolbox of cards that you can really utilize with this Necromancer. So one of Skinned Hound, if you want to throw guard around. We've got Harpy, just like you would normally imagine. Wardcrafter, 5th Legion Trainer you can get back if you're then going to flood the board. Oculatus Agent and Grizzly Gourmet, both as 1/ofs because they help your toolbox out quite a bit. Satanine Courier you can get back. And that is just with a base Necromancer. Now, here's the fun part. We've got Galen, so we can shuffle these back in. That's standard, and it's even more powerful now that Cast into Time has been nerfed. But since this is meant to be a go-wide deck, it's a token deck, we're running Divine Fervor. Divine Fervor, paired with Necromancer, allows Necromancer to get itself back. So you can chain Necromancers if you've played multiples. Necromancer, I glossed over earlier, General Tullius is in this list, and that's another just hilarious card to hit with Necromancer. But besides chaining that Necromancer, 1 Fervor means this Necromancer can chain into this one, which can chain into something like Marked Man that can then play a defenses, and then suddenly you get a ton of value. 1 Divine Fervor on the board and or 5th Legion Trainer will also, for the record, start these chains. Also means you can get cards like Archcannon back. Now you don't get to Exalt, but the summon's still strong. Haunting Spirit seems pretty good. You can get back Galen's to then reshuffle more things in. You can get back things like Alfiq Conjurer with even just 1 Divine Fervor. And yeah, you guessed it, that's really, really powerful. And the list goes on. And then taking it even a step further, you've got Abner that you can play on Necromancer and then get stuff back for, less than 5. Overall, this list is, well, it's just all based around Necromancer synergy. Now, I went kind of all in on that theory, on that train of thought. If you wanted to make a more traditional token Tribunal list, there's honestly some cards I would consider cutting, so you have less of a toolbox that's focused on the Necromancers, and then I would also put in some more traditionally just powerful cards. For example, you might notice this list has no Young Mammoth. That's because Young Mammoth just didn't really hit the Necromancer theme. It wasn't something that was easy to bring back. Even as it is, I'm only running 2 Emperor's Blades because of very similar reasons, but this is what we're going to run. It's a deck testing video, so we're going to go play 2 games with it on the ladder, win or lose, and see how it goes. Muted the mic while I cleared my throat there. I'm getting over a really, really rough head cold, and it's been affecting my breathing, affecting my throat, affecting my sanity. But not my Necromancer ability, hopefully. So we're jumping into maybe a mirror. We're against Tribunal. I've been seeing a lot of, I think we throw all this back. A lot of mid-Tribunal lately. I mean, Controlled Tribunal's still a thing, but a lot of mid-Tribunal. I was gonna say, we have an Apprentice, but nothing to get back with it, but we top decked a 1-drop. We're running a fair number of 1-drops. And then on top of the 1-drops that we are running,
I'll take them with me.
Yeah, let's do this. On top of the 1-drops that we are running, we are creating 1-drops, if you will, as well. So Wandering Skeleton is in this list. It's just good, resilient threat, good, resilient creature. Interesting.
I'll take them with
Do I
me.
care if they drain? Like, that's a legitimate question. Do I care if they drain? Because I'm not sure that I do. At least at the moment. If this dies, I can at least get that back. Though it feels really lackluster. Yeah, I think we're gonna do this. I don't like any of my plays there. It's essentially that or develop 5th Legion Trainer. But at least by using the negation, it means if I play this on curve, I have something to get back. That was kind of my train of thought there.
I'll take them with me.
Could have held this in hand if I thought I was going to play this next turn, but the reality is we're trying to set up, I think, one of these fervors. I don't think it's quite iron time yet, so... Okay. I respect it.
Chimeric spirit of the sky.
I'll take them with me.
So they'll drain back, but they have to give us a card in order to do so. So I think that's an okay trade-off for now. Interesting. That is not something I was expecting to see. So iron would allow us to turn around and negate that as well, but I'm not convinced that's the route I want to go quite yet. So we get our damage in first.
Training is over. It's time to act.
And go this route.
Read my lips.
Oh, that's kind of funny. I mean, we're going to take the Pawnbroker because it's far better for our deck, but the Dragon Mound was a bit tempting, I'm not going to lie. I don't think, even if it was going to be the right play, and it's not ever, but even if it was going to be, I don't think I can do a video about trying to showcase a deck list and then turn around and trade out my deck. Alright, so they're going to get a lot of health here. Kind of surprised by that, though. The reason I'm surprised by that particular move is if they would have Crushing Blowed here, this could have traded here. Would have given them even more value, but... Alright, so we want this to go away. Because the drain is no fun. Now, we could Fervor here, but it's not quite enough to push for lethal. Can take 2 trades there just to slow them down. And if we're going to do that, we should probably also throw a guard on this with the Skinned Hound. And so if we're going to do that, I think first... Okay. Even better. So we'll take our trade, we'll get our damage in. And instead what we will do is we'll take this to replay it.
Did you hear that?
Generate the defenses. And we'll also do this. I should have went here. That was a misplay. Should have went here, because whichever one I put it on there, you're going to use that as the trade-in.
All right, men, on me.
And if I was trying to play around Ice Storm, it would have made more sense to try to leave the 4/4 up. But
Awaiting your command.
nonetheless. Alright, so we have even more options here, but I think Fervor makes the most sense because that gives us the best set of value trades. It also means that my board is going to be that much more likely to survive Ice Storm. Let's do this here, make this trade, get this swing in, and see what this draws us. So, even if they have double Lightning Bolt, they're still 2 off of lethal. Same goes for if they have something like Dawnbreaker and a Lightning Bolt, so I think we're okay in that regard. Oh, it's Singleton. Well, that explains the dragon now.
Light of the Tribunal.
Whoa ho ho! And all the health gain. They like gaining health, huh? All right, so they're up to 24. We have lethal on the board right now. If we don't hit prophecies. So we just go for it then, right?
I'll take them with me.
My business is none of theirs.
And we got there, all right. Was not expecting that to have been Singleton. But then again, I mean, you never really expect Singleton until you see something that tips your hat. I mean, there were some, you know, maybe out of the ordinary choices, but nothing that screamed Singleton. But we'll take the win. Hopefully game 2 goes as well as game 1 did for us. Made a lot of bodies. That's kind of what our deck's meant to do. There's not a ton of card draw in this list. I mean, we have stuff like the East March. We've got, you know, tomes from Daggerfall, but very much like the Dwemer Spellsword list that I had created, this particular list kind of uses the value generators to allow you to flood the board. I think we're going to keep that. So the necromancers are kind of meant to make up for your lack of card draw. If you can play one card and put 2 or 3 bodies on the board, then hopefully you're gonna just kind of extend your reach a bit better that way.
I'll whip them into shape.
This card has been better than I thought it was going to be. I was pretty skeptical
They will not
at
get
first.
past me.
Yeah, I think this will go here.
You fight like
We're
a
just
child.
sadly, like, that's one of the few cards that just wins the field lane for them right there. Because they get the value trade. I could go
Death to the
contest, but
enemy. You must pay to pass unhindered.
interesting. Could bolt that, but we're going to be giving them cards anyway. I used to be so scared about my opponents getting access to cards, and I think the more I play, the more I kind of just don't care.
You will
But I think it's because I play a lot of aggressive decks, and trying to deny them cards doesn't really matter if I'm just going to break all their runes and get to where I'm giving them a million cards anyway.
protect the Ashkan.
All right. So we're gonna take the value trade here. Get this trade here. Take the edict. I'll use a ring charge to make a 3/3.
You get cold.
Mostly because now they have to either allow me to take this value trade, or if they want to draw the card and keep hitting me, they take the value trade, or they have to take this trade here. So I think I'm fine with that. Brynjolf is annoying, but we have the other edict to back it up. So not the end of the world. Go ahead and edict that. And develop a marked man. We'll protect this side from chargers. I mean, they're on what appears to be some sort of aggressive or mid-range Halalu list that likely runs Pilfer, but that probably means that Cliff Racers and such are a part of their game plan. Okay.
This one is destined for greatness.
It's a really good turn for them just because I gain a bunch of health. I could Lightning Bolt one, but I feel like Arch Cannon here ends up just being the better choice
The Tribunal
about
will
every time.
always count to the
So we'll
people's
exalt.
aid. Behold the Tribunal's power.
Use the ring. And I think we're gonna give this the Drain and Guard, mostly because this means that they can't really beat me in a race, realistically.
I'll take
me.
And so now they've got the opportunity to gain more health with these, but if they don't deal with the board, we should be able to push for lethal next turn, because we have an extra 4 burst in hand. If we top deck something like Divine Fervor, it's even better. Oh, guard might slow us down. This Necromancer could get back a Daggerfall for us. Now I really want to find that Divine
I
Fervor,
have no fear of you, cowardly schemer.
because then this could just get back Archcannon for us.
I have no patience.
Be a decent amount of value for us.
I'll profit from your death.
Would also allow for good value trades. Tullius is also kind of funny. All right, so we didn't get where we could do the value trade stuff,
I'll take them with me.
but we'll just make
All right,
Tullius
men,
here.
On me.
There's an argument to be made about the ordering there. I could have theoretically played Tullius first and then taken the trades, because then this would be a 4/4 Tullius, but my concern with that was I knew I was going to break this rune, and I didn't want a prophecy to necessarily nuke him. So, bit of a trade-off there. Actually, so sometimes when you've played this game for hours on end, like I have as of right now, sometimes you just miss lethal.
Milk drinker.
So whatever, y'all can make fun of me. I realize now that I missed lethal that last turn with the old lightning bolt here. It's not the end of the world.
I'll take them with me.
My opponent's gonna think that I'm BMing now when I do this. But oh well. Sorry, Hateful Eight. I'm just bad at the game. That's all. Well, I think one great set of games. I think that the list certainly has potential. This is one of those lists that I think could climb the ladder. I know that I've showcased and featured some wacky decks recently, but this list I think is at least good enough to climb. I don't think it's going to be like a top tier list. I think that there are probably more refined versions that could do maybe a hair better, but it did well, it performed well. It would perform even better if it was piloted by somebody who had their wits about them and wasn't jacked up on cold medicine and had been playing for hours and was missing lethal. But nonetheless, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. I love you. Thanks for watching. Until next time, may you walk on warm sands.